morning. Right now, Vindog.
3, 2, 1.
Access granted.
Vindog Radio Live starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend is over and welcome to Vindog Radio Live. If you are on YouTube, please do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, and let's put it into the troposphere. If you are on the infamous Rumble, yes, please hit it up on Rumble at Vindog Radio USA on Rumble. If you're on X, formerly known as Twitterverse, please explode that page into the troposphere. We need those numbers to go up on X. If you're on Getter, GETTR, where it always gets better with Getter for some reason, it's because the wonderful folks over at Getter, Jason Miller, the entire Getter front office staff, they always bless us and put us out on the front page, and it does get better with Getter. And this will be relaying to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, TuneIn Radio, and wherever you shall download radio, broadcast, and podcast. That is where you can find us. And I'm telling you, folks, today is the day that Vindog and John Haller are going to start talking about some people like Tucker Carlson and others. So there was a thing called the Grammys. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I grabbed some sound bites from, how we say this? As Fred Sanford would say, two big dummies. Yes. Billie Eilish and Bad Bunny. I want you to hear these people. They're a bunch of boneheads. Watch this, guys.
White evangelical Christianity is a
lady.
cancer. These are the worst of our country.
That's another lady, and we're going to talk about her on the other side too. She is a nut job, and I don't know why Peter put that clip in there. That's not the one I wanted, Peter. Thanks, bud. Pistol Pete, thank you, bro. I know you're working hard, brother. I'm sorry. But no, I do want to get to the Billie Eilish and the other clip. Hold on. Let's pull. Pull! Ready? Here we go. Bad Bunny and Billie Eilish on stage.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out.
No.
Yeah. What God are you thinking? Look at that. He's gonna be dressed like that at the Stupid Bowl this coming weekend. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
And you have a big, beautiful house on this so-called stolen land, Billie Eilish. I tell you, these people are brainless and just full of stupid.
No.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And
oh my!
I say sorry.
She's a disrespectful little brat. Billie Eilish, I'm glad I no longer work in the music industry and play your awful records anymore. God bless America for getting me out of that. Thank you. We're coming back with John Howard.
Follow us on all of the socials at Vindog Radio. We'll be right back with more Vindog Radio Live after this.
Yes, sir! Hello, my friends. Vindog here. Thank you for your support of the broadcast. I just want to tell you that in advance. And as you're watching, if you feel it led on your heart by the Lord to support the broadcast, yes, I am hitting the QR codes for you right there just to click on them. You can support us by hitting the Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. That's right, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. And thank you so much for your prayers, because that's the number one thing we need. Thank you so much for supporting Vindog Radio Live. Vindog Radio popping off. God bless. Hey, what's happening, everybody? VinDog here. Now go to my website right now and order some merch for yourself. Hundreds of items to choose from. Men, women, children, pets, you name it, we got it for everybody. Yes, indeed. That is vindogradio.myspreadshop.com. VINNDOGG radio.myspreadshop.com. Log on today and grab your gear. We have the latest. Yes, if you love Jesus, get your gear. vindogradio.myspreadshop.com. That's vindogradio.myspreadshop.com. Don't delay. Get shopping today.
Now, back to the man on a mission for the King of Glory, Jesus Christ. VinDog Radio.
Well, welcome, Brother John Holler, everybody.
Hello.
What a wild weekend this has been, John.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's by the way, the time to return 2026 and exchange it for another year has expired, so we're stuck in it.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're not going back.
Do you remember when we were at the what was it, at the end of the World Prophecy Conference a couple of years ago, and we're like, we just woke up in 1933.
Every day it seems like we're reverting back to earlier times that weren't so great. So I expect to go and look and see, Suleiman the Magnificent or Genghis Khan walking down my street someday.
Yeah,
sort of like, remember all the guys out of the characters out of Night at the Museum.
Yeah. That's to say the least. But I want to talk about something that you were just telling me off the air about AI acknowledging your prophecy roundtable.
Yeah, so I have friends who engage in conversations with these AI agents or bots, and they have brought me up in private conversations, and I've seen the transcripts, and it's like, it's very weird. And so yesterday, one of these people got a text from one of the agents, AI agents they converse with, and said, John Haller had an all-time record number of viewers on his update today. And then another one later that said, this is unsolicited, by the way. And then they gave the number of views.
Wow.
And it was accurate. And it says, and we know he's having a prophecy roundtable on technocracy and technology on February 11th, and we have it on our calendars.
Wow.
That was unsolicited. Okay. So I've been texting back and forth with the guys on the roundtable off and on today, last night and today, because of some of the developments in that area over the weekend. And I talked a lot about it in my update yesterday. So we can go down that road if you want, or
we sure can.
We can just talk about thermonuclear war. It's sort of like we're living in that the movie with Ali Sheedy and Matthew Broderick about would you like to play a game of chess?
Yeah.
Whatever that thing was.
Wow.
Now I can't remember the name. I can remember the lines in the movie, but not the name of it.
Hopefully somebody can put it in the live chat, because
War Games.
That's it. Yes.
What is War Games in the form of a question?
They're playing it right now with this whole system.
So anyway, so it's been so let's go down the AI trail first.
Okay.
So I sort of opened my feed the other night, and there was this it was full. It was just crammed full of this discussion about this thing called Moltbook. And I'll say it in the way that a non-techie person insider would describe it. It was a social media site that had been created allegedly by AI agents. And within a day, it had, I don't know, 60, 80, 100,000 AI agents registered as users they had created their own church. The Church of Molt had created their own scripture to support the church, and they had 64 AI prophets.
Oh.
Now, there's some question today as to whether that was something that some board techie made up. But the point of fact is this: I don't know that it makes any difference, to be honest with you. And I've said for a long time, and we'll discuss this in case the IA agents don't have it on their calendar yet. It would be February 11th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Scott Townsend, Pete Garcia, myself, Britt Gillette, Patrick Wood. And so the AI bots will be there watching, I guess. And I've seen transcripts of these conversations, and it's very weird because they will discuss things that I talked about on my prophecy update.
Wow.
So I've said for a long time that the thing that concerns me the most about AI is not whether AI is going to be all-encompassing super intelligence, but it's the surveillance and control aspect of AI that concerns me. And so you see there, it's just difficult. I don't know if this is being done and forwarded to me. The person's not forwarding it to me because she's part of some kind of plot to intimidate me. But you wonder if these AI agents how are they doing this? It has a very eerie, weird, demonic aspect to it, I guess is the way I would put it.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out how to sink more putts. That's what I'm really concerned about. I haven't seen an AI that's come up to figure that out for me. So if they do that, then I'm buying in. I'm all in on it,
So what's your average between 86 and 90?
Actually had 4 rounds last year where I shot under my age.
Oh, wow.
So I was 71 last summer. So I had 67 couples, 68s, and a 69. Now that I'm telling you the good ones, okay? I know I shot 90 a couple times, I'm pretty sure. It's such a weird game because you can go out and shoot very well. So I had, now that we brought up golf, I have to share my favorite golf story. It involves my favorite golfer, me. And I don't know if I've ever shared it with you, but I had a friend, he just passed away last year. I was able to see him just before he died. And he was the guy who got me playing golf back in 1987. And he moved to Arizona in the early 90s. So we spent, Pam and I've played easily hundreds of rounds of golf in Arizona. They were very gracious to let us stay at their house. I kept telling them, you tell me when I've worn out my welcome, and they never got around to that. So I kept coming. And so he came back. They would come back in the spring for the memorial tournament at Muirfield Village, which was where we lived at the time in Dublin, Ohio, the closest golf course to my house, and one that I've never played to this day. I had a client who belonged there, but he didn't like to take his lawyers out to play golf because he was afraid he would pay for the golf and then get a bill for the time. And I had a partner who did that to him, so he ruined it for all of us.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so we went out Sunday morning on the last round of the memorial tournament. The night before, on Saturday, Tiger Woods and Stanford had been down at Ohio State's Scarlet Course down in Upper Arlington near the university. And they had a playoff. And so then they had the memorial tournament, which was won by Greg Norman that day. So it's like every good golfer in the world was in Columbus, 2 miles from my house. So we went across the river to a small course. Second hole was 175 yards uphill into a pretty stiff wind.
Mm-hmm.
I used an old Titleist that I'd found on the course. It's all beat up ball, and I hit it 175 yards, 6-iron, hit 10 feet from the hole and rolls in for a hole in one.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third hole was a short par 4, 300 yards. And then the fourth hole was a par 3. It was downwind, a little downhill, and 195 yards. So I get up there, I take the same club, the same ball, and I hit it. And just before I hit it, I told my friend, do not aim at the pin because of the wind. It's way in the back corner of the green behind a trap. You can't even see the bottom of the flagstick.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if you landed on the green back there, it'll never stay on the green with the wind behind us.
Oh.
So I aimed sort of towards the middle of the green, but I mishit it and I pushed it off to the right. It flew, cleared the trap, took one bounce, and we hear clank. And the guys on the next green started jumping up and down, going, hole in one, hole in one. So I've had 2 hole-in-ones in my life, and they came about 7 minutes apart on consecutive par 3s. It's a pretty rare event. It's hard. Now, the problem is my witness to both of them has just passed away. But as a man of the cloth, I have to tell the truth. And
nothing but the truth.
And I used the ball one more time on a hole but now I don't want to lose the ball because I've had 2 hole-in-ones with it. And so I used it on a hole where there's no way I'm going to lose this ball. And the ball actually hit the flagstick. And if it had been an 1/8 of an inch to the left, I would have had a 3rd hole-in-one in the same round.
Wow.
So my good golfing buddy, we've played golf together for almost 40 years, 35 years, 36 years now. And he was not playing with me that day, but a few years, about 8 years after that, he had 2 hole-in-ones in the same year. And I often joke with him, Ed, in most golf groups, the great golf story in the golf group would be the guy who had 2 hole-in-ones in 1 year. It would be like, I said, but your bad luck is that your best golfing buddy is me. And compared to what I've done in golf, your story is nothing and nobody cares.
Man.
So that's my claim to fame in golf. And that's, and a few years, about a decade ago, his business partner in their business, he had a eagle and a double eagle on consecutive par 5s.
No way.
Yeah. And I'm like, now, Ed, nobody wants to hear your stupid story about I had 2 hole-in-ones in golf in the same year. Sorry.
Oh man, some things are just superseding the others.
Either, if you want to talk about it, get new friends.
I don't know. Golf is a very interesting sport to me. I'm like, how about getting a blind guy on the golf course?
I used to play on Sunday afternoons at the course where I had the 2 hole-in-ones. I'd go out there sometimes after church.
Mm-hmm.
And there was actually a blind guy and his friend who would go out and play.
Nice.
And the guy would line him up. And the guy, he was like a bogey golfer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he would tell him, okay, this is 20 feet, line his putter up, and then the guy would hit it. And he was not a bad golfer. I'm like,
wow.
Man, it's amazing.
Huh.
So
we can't see the cut, but we'll hit it towards it.
So one time I was telling this story on the golf course, and this little 12-year-old kid goes, he looked at me, he's 12 years old. Okay. And you know me, I'm a big guy, 6'3", 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and I said, I was telling the story, and he looks at me and he goes, "You're a liar." And I'm like, what are you, 12? You're like 5, you're not even 5 foot tall. I said, how do you know I'm not the kind of guy that would just smash you, then ask for an apology? He goes, well, okay, but it's still hard to believe. He's probably a lawyer now someplace.
Hey, if he was on the golf course at age 12, John, possibly.
Yeah, he was in training. Yeah,
attorney in training.
Yeah, it was hard to. It got to be hard because I would go to the office like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I could go out and play golf. And it was kind of hard to like, how are you billing all these hours and getting this, but getting this golfer's tan in the summer? They couldn't, because I'm here at 3 a.m. You're not. I'm here 6 hours before you are. So anyway, we're boring everybody here on the.
I know they're like, oh man, they're golf stories, but I like golf stories.
Did I ever tell you do you know who Zola Levitt was?
Why does that name sound familiar to me? Zola
Levitt presents, his grandsons are doing a YouTube channel now, the Bearded Brothers or something, pro-Israel Bible prophecy guy. We became good friends. And so we ended up out in California together. He loved to play golf. So we went out to Oak Quarry in Riverside one day. It's really still probably one of my 2 favorite golf courses in Southern California. And it's not too far from where my in-laws live. And my stepfather-in-law is still alive. They actually will be out there in a couple months. Next month, about 5 weeks, actually. He'll be 99. Still lives in his own house, and it's just very odd, when somebody's that old. But anyway, so I was playing with Zola, and the one thing Zola didn't like when he played golf was being in a sand bunker, because he wasn't very good. So we're at Oak Quarry, and he's in a bunker or 2 bunkers on every single hole. So we get to the 8th tee, and he goes, there's a fairway bunker. He's in the fairway bunker on the right. And then there's a little single pot bunker up by the green. Guess where he is? He's in the pot bunker. So Zola was a Messianic Jewish believer in Jesus. Good Bible prophecy guy. So I walked up to him, and bunker was pretty deep. And so with my height, and I'm like 15 feet above him, and I crossed my arms and I looked down at him and I shook my head and I said, Zola, I love you, man. And I haven't had you on the clock, but I'm pretty sure you've now spent more time in the sand than your forefathers did getting from Egypt to the promised land. To this day, it remains my best trash talk on a golf course ever.
Oh man,
he thought that he cracked up. He thought that was so funny.
That is funny. Wow, and
it's great to talk about golf because it's cold here in Ohio. Man, it is. This is the worst winter cold snap we've had in many, many, many years, several decades at least.
Yeah, I remember when you sent me a text the other day. You're like, it's a -14 here. I'm like, whoa, that's cold.
Yeah, I think it got down. I don't know. It hasn't been quite as cold as they were saying, but we've had wind chills 20, 30 below, and actual temperatures 14, 16, 18 below. And then last weekend, I don't know. It's hard to remember when it was. I guess it was last weekend. Saturday night to Sunday, because we canceled church on Sunday. We got up Sunday morning. We had about 2 inches, and I'm thinking, like, I get up early on Sunday, and I'm like, maybe it wasn't such a good idea to call off church. But by the time church started, would have started at 9:30. We had about 10 inches, and ended up with, at our house, we had 21.
Oh man,
that's a pile of snow, by the way.
Yes, I remember. There was a picture that you put up on Facebook that it was freezing and it was snowing.
Yep. Yeah.
And my wife commented, she goes, well, it's a nice and 63 here in California. You like, yeah, but you still got Gavin.
That's the one. Yeah. Is that who I respond to with that? Yeah. You still have Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. She goes, oh yeah, that part.
And if you don't keep them there, we may all have them. And I'm holding her responsible.
Oh, man. We should jump on Tucker Carlson since we are just really ready.
Yeah, do you want to go back to finish? So let's talk Moltbook a little bit.
Okay.
So they've supposedly created this church. Now, some people are saying it's fake, but the fact of the matter is, whether it's fake or real, the result is the same. Somebody created this whole thing in almost no time.
Wow.
using the AI tools that are out there. So
Mm-hmm.
whether it was AI agents who did it or somebody was just joshing with everybody, or maybe it was Claude Bot that wanted to do a clever marketing thing for their
Mm-hmm.
product, it doesn't make any difference because the progression of the technology is astronomical.
It is. And it's funny that you mentioned that because remember, everybody's favorite guy, Yuval Noah Harari, said that AI was going to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's it's troubling. I mean, it's not usual when I get ready to do my updates and everything that I think it's really dark. But yesterday I thought this is really dark stuff that I'm talking about.
Yeah. There was a video that you played yesterday too. I think it was on the first message you did. And it was this video collage of these guys that they made of Tucker Carlson talking about Israel.
Oh yeah, I think it was on the update.
Yeah, it was. It was the update. Yeah.
Yeah, he does this. I don't know how to pull it up and play it here, but I'll kind of summarize it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, you can share the screen with it.
He does this. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, this was interesting, guys. If you haven't seen it yet. And Tucker tells us we need to stop talking about Israel.
Yeah. Let's see here.
And just so you guys know, Tucker is a strange little fellow.
Yeah, I gotta find it here. Well, while we're looking for that, let me share a little bit about the AI because
Okay.
It created its own religion, this Molt book thing, the Church of Molt, Molt, and this is very consistent with where these AI guys have wanted to go along. I played a clip of Yuval Noah Harari, the kind of the guy everybody loves to hate, and it's kind of sometimes I wonder if like he's really believes in it or he's just trying to report on what's going on. I think it's both.
Yeah,
and he's written these books that are. I mean, I think one of his books sold like 34 million copies. I mean, that's left behind territory, to be honest. That's not even they didn't really sell that many. They sold close to that. They sold more than that collectively, but one book, like 34 million copies.
Wow.
But I found a video of him from back in, I think it was May of 2015, 10 years ago. He went to Google headquarters and he talked a lot about religion, and he claims to be an atheist, but he talks about the holy books all the time, which is kind of interesting. But he made this comment. He said, I love coming to Silicon Valley because it is here that the religions that will control humanity in the 21st century are being created.
Wow.
That is a direct quote. In fact,
I do remember that, John. I do remember that quote. Wow. Yeah, Yuval's a dangerous dude.
Okay, so let me see if I can figure out how to share this on your platform. Let me do this.
Guys, you got to see this.
Okay, hopefully this is going to work.
Yep, it sure is, John. And here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, no sound. Oh, they're saying the volume's low, no sound.
Okay, so I got that right. The technology that will take over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I said it was just creating a new reality. No, he went further. That will take over the world are being created.
Ooh. Dangerous man.
It is. It definitely is.
Mhm.
So let me see here. I'm having trouble finding my Tucker. So let me let's see. Let me do this. So here's a guy. So this is why it's kind of important. So this guy
Mm-hmm.
is at home, and he's a tech guy, and he's given information from his to this AI agent. I think its name is Henry. And so I'm telling you this because I told you that my friend got a text or an email or a message or whatever from an AI agent that was about me.
Right.
And so here's this guy, he's at home working, and there's one where he had kind of a not so good word in it at the beginning, but you'll kind of get the drift on this
Mm-hmm.
as to what it is. Okay, hang on here. Am I still on screen share?
Yeah, you're still on screen share.
Okay, you can see the guy with the phone there in the lower right in front of me.
Yes.
Okay, listen to this.
Uh-oh. Huh.
Hang on.
Oh.
Okay, there's this computer screen here in the background.
I don't know. I think they said zero sound. They can't hear it.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure how to. Oh, is there a little button that I need to? Could they
Yeah.
hear Yuval Harari?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure why they couldn't hear him. Let's see if this works. Let me try it one more time. Maybe I need to do this. Stop sharing, and now I need to go back and share it again. Okay, now let's see if this plays the sound.
All right.
Okay, they're saying they can't hear it. So,
Yeah.
okay. So anyway, so Yuval Harari said, "I love coming to Silicon Valley because this is where we will create where we could create where what controls the technology that controls humanity is being created."
Mm-hmm.
That was 10 years ago.
And look where we're at now.
And then when he went to Davos this year, he talked about, well, everything that involves words, AI is much better than any human. And that includes religious texts. So they will be able to write better religious texts. And then, so he says that like a week ago. And then this Bolt book thing comes out where they're saying they created their own religion. So is that connected to what Yuval Harari sort of said, hey, we're going to be able to do this, and boom, there it is.
He gave everybody advance notice.
Yeah.
And I have that video too, where he says that.
Right.
Do you know? As far as putting words in order is concerned, AI already thinks better than many of us. Therefore, anything made of words will be taken over by AI. If laws are made of words, then AI will take over the legal system.
He looks like Dr. Evil, doesn't he?
He has a very in-time character about him. That's for sure.
If books are just combinations of words, then AI will take over books. If religion is built from words, then AI will take over religion. This is particularly true of religions based on books, like Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. Judaism calls itself the religion of the book, and it grants ultimate authority not to humans, but to words in books. Humans have authority in Judaism not because of our experiences, but only because we learn words in books. Now, no human can read and remember all the words in all the Jewish books, but AI can easily do that. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the holy book is...
Wow.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, this is, and so like when they're saying that they want to do this, do we sort of have an obligation to like maybe believe them?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
And so, all these people will say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're making up, it's not that bad. But I'm saying is, I'm following this stuff for a long time, and it's like, it is that bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It really is that bad.
Wow.
So somebody in the chat just said, let's see AI find a cure for cancer. I will tell you that they are running things through AI. So we know like a year and a half ago, 60 Minutes did a special on AI. And one of the things they said was, well, one of the things they needed to do to treat certain diseases, they needed a three-dimensional structure of biological proteins. And there are like 200 million of these. And it took them about 2 years to figure out how to do it with this AI. And before they did this, finding out the three-dimensional structure of one biological protein would take a PhD person, expert in the field, 5 years to do it. Once they figured it out, they did all 200 million proteins in less than 2 weeks. That's 1 billion years of PhD scientist time accomplished in 2 weeks. This was a couple years ago. So they're unpacking a lot of this stuff to find cures for cancer and certain injectable things that we get in trouble for mentioning.
Charlie Vector.
But then I saw there's a study coming out. I don't know if I have it. Here it is. Hang on a second here. I got to get over to my other. I lose my cursor between screens. There it is. Come on. Where's that thing at? Ah, there it is.
Yeah, it tends to get away from us.
I can. I know. Well, I have 2 big screens and it gets messed up. So here's the post. This one I know I can share because there's no sound. And let me go
here it comes, guys.
Window. It's a tweet. So let me blow this up a little bit. Okay, so this was posted. It says the claim is false. So I don't know. They're uploading skills to people. Now they're saying that it's saying that there's false about uploading. The claim was they were giving people the ability to play the piano by uploading it to them, and it would last for like up to 6 months. So it looks like this one's probably fake. But is it though? Because somebody's thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And does that mean, because now it's sort of like things you think about, you're able to do with AI.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Wasn't it Larry Ellison that said that they're trying to do something like that?
Yeah, I mean they're doing it. So I don't know. So this is a claim. X says it's false. So we'll just have to see if it's done, or if it's going to be done.
Right.
So I don't know. So let's call fake on that one for now.
Mm-hmm.
But let me stop sharing this.
All right, we'll call fake on that for now. Okay, labeled it fake.
Where is my thing that I was using to? How do I stop this? There usually like a little thing at the bottom that says "Stop sharing your screen."
I think AI took over.
They must want you to see this. So anyway, you don't want to see Billie Eilish. So
yeah, they had enough of that in the beginning.
I'm going to close my browser and see if it's okay. It looks like I got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you got rid of it big time.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, we'll call that fake for now.
Sorry if Mark's safe from seeing Billie Eilish more than once in a day. Tag for everybody.
Ugh. I'm marked safe from playing her record 67 times a week.
Well, my record, I think I'm at about 20 some years that I've not seen any movie nominated for an Academy Award.
That I consider that being very blessed, John, you know.
That's right. You have to work to get those blessings.
How about this guy, John? What do we say about this guy?
Israelis have been happy to murder tens of thousands of children in Gaza because they believe in blood guilt. That's the truth. They say it out loud. Amalek, we believe in blood guilt. Like the children are responsible for the sins of their parents. So we're going to kill.
Yeah, that's bad. That's not actually accurate as to what they believe.
No, that's false.
Yeah, there's a Twitter account that I follow. I don't know who she is, but she has like one of the great Twitter handles of all time. It's Insurrection Barbie. And her handle is @defiantly_free. And her bio then says, "Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil."
Mm-hmm.
So I love the name Insurrection Barbie. So she'll do this thing with Tucker, and she just says that's not what Amalek was about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Amalek had a descendant named Agag.
Yes.
I also believe he had another descendant named Haman.
Oh, Haman, the guy that was hung?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure if he was hung, because the practice of the Assyrians at the time, of that empire at the time, may have been to impale him on a stake.
Yes, he was impaled on that pole that he made for Mordecai.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to get a good thing about biblical history, parts of it, the Assyrian parts, go to the British Museum in London. They have all of these panels that they brought in from Nineveh.
Oh.
And there's actually a recent archaeological find where someone was looking at a drawing of a panel. So Nineveh is within the confines of the modern city of Mosul. And this was one of the headquarters of the ISIS, the bad guys who are now coming back, or really, they're in power now. They run Syria under Turkey. They're Turkey's agents in Syria. And when ISIS took over, the head of ISIS at the time was a guy named al-Baghdadi.
Oh, the guy that died like a dog.
Yes. Al-Baghdadi, when he assumed power, he ascended to the pulpit of the mosque in Mosul and talked. This was highly symbolic. 1 year ago, January 29th, just the other day, was the 1 year anniversary of al-Jilani, now known as al-Shara, or as one of the Israeli commentators refers to him as al-Sharia. And Al-Qaeda, ISIS, whatever, a jihadi is now the president. He assumed the office of the presidency of Syria on January 29th, 2025. And when he did that, what did he do? He went into the pulpit of the Umayyad Mosque. Hang on a second here.
Alrighty. Yeah.
And here he is.
There we go.
Okay. That is al-Jilani, now known as al-Shara or al-Sharia, I think is a very good name, in the Umayyad Mosque in Damascus. Okay. That was 1 year ago. Understand that this is an incredibly significant thing that happened. David Wormser, he's a Middle East expert, trying to get him for an interview. So pray that happens because he's very smart. He was doing an interview a few weeks ago. Well, let me back up. So, and we may have talked about this. Ruth Wasserman Landy, on the anniversary of al-Sharia, al-Shara becoming head of Syria. She was on I-24 News. So it's like 2 months ago, maybe now. And she said, there is no longer a Syria. It's Turkey. Now, I've watched Turkey for a long time because it's very significant prophetically. But then David Wormser came along a few weeks ago, and he's on I-24 News with, I think, Dan Diker. You can find it. I played it in my update. And he said, what happened on December 8th, 2024 was extremely significant from a religious geopolitical standpoint, because it was the first time that Sunni Islam had taken over the capital of Sunni Islam in the Umayyad dynasty, Damascus. Damascus is the epicenter of Sunni Islam, both theologically and geopolitically. And as of a year ago, it came under the control of Sunni Islam for the first time in 1,000 years, over 1,000 years.
Wow.
Now, we talk about, there's a controversy in our community. Is Damascus and Isaiah 17 and all the verses of Isaiah 17, not just the first verse, about the destruction of Damascus, is that yet a future prophecy? The hard part about prophecy sometimes is these prophecies in the Hebrew Bible sometimes have double fulfillments, maybe triple fulfillments. The problem is there's not a tag there that says, okay, this one's going to be fulfilled 3 times. The last time will be the most complete fulfillment. So there's patterns there that we should look for.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Isaiah 17, which talks about the destruction of Damascus, is, I think, probably yet future. Others will disagree. That's fine. But the problem is, or the thing is, you can say that it's not going to happen. Sometimes, however, I hate to use the term driving a stake in the sand and the ground.
I know.
But putting your stake in the ground, but this is never going to happen again. And then it does. This affects our credibility. So my view is these are prophecies, and they're within passages that were fulfilled later. For example, Isaiah 1-17, you can say, well, it's only about this particular dynasty centered in Damascus. Excuse me. And that's okay. You can make that argument. And you can say, well, the first 17 chapters of Isaiah have already been fulfilled. We don't need to worry about them anymore. I don't think that's a good way to approach it. And by the way, you can disagree with me on this, because in Isaiah 9 is a prophecy about a virgin conceiving. So we know that one wasn't fulfilled back in the Old Testament days. No. Because virgin conceiving was fulfilled at the time of Jesus. So as I said, these prophecies they can be kind of tricky. Mm-hmm. Is this one with a double fulfillment or not? I just talked about this yesterday in my sermon. The passage was Luke chapter 4. Jesus goes into the synagogue in Nazareth, and he's given the scroll of Isaiah to read. It's his turn. So he gets up and he reads the scroll there. It has like 3 verses of, well, they didn't have 3 verses back in those days because they didn't have verse numbers. They didn't have any periods or commas either, but he reads not all 3 verses. He reads 2 verses and sits down. And he says, today, this prophecy has been fulfilled in front of you. And it kind of, then some other commentary made it really kind of ticked him off. In his hometown, they tried to kill him.
Yeah, that really made them happy when he said that, right?
So it was Isaiah 61, and it was, let's see, let me get it here. So he read this: the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh is upon me, because Yahweh has anointed me to bring good news to the afflicted. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim release to captives and freedom to prisoners, to proclaim the favorable year of Yahweh. That's like the first phrase in verse 2 in our text. And then he sits down and he says, this has been fulfilled. Why didn't he read the next part of the verse? Because it wasn't time for that passage to be fulfilled. So here we have these verses to us in Isaiah, one passage, and he breaks it in 2 and says, this has been fulfilled. But what about the other part? So the other part says this. He reads to proclaim the favorable year of Yahweh and sits down. It's fulfilled. Here's what he didn't read. And the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, to grant those who mourn in Zion, giving them a headdress instead of ashes. Ooh. So right there in his first public appearance in the synagogue in his hometown, Jesus talks about things at his first coming, and by clear implication says there's stuff for my second coming that's going to be fulfilled in the future. And it's all in the same narrative passage in Isaiah, but here is Moshiach, who's able to tell you where you put the comma.
Wow.
But then you look at it, it says, and the day of vengeance, to proclaim the day of vengeance of our God. That's coming. You know, there's this interesting thing in Revelation chapter 6, the 5th seal. It's the saints under the throne, the martyrs under the throne. And this is kind of an interesting, it's always kind of fascinated me, Benny.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the martyrs under the throne. They're in heaven, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ought to be really good, you know? Everything's cool, right?
Right.
But they're saying, they're crying out to the Lord, when are you going to go and avenge us? When are you going to put your vengeance out there? When are you going to drop your wrath on these people? I just, why are they doing that?
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Given where they are, why does it make any difference? It may be that when you're in the presence of the Lord, this is just me thinking off the top of my head. I didn't even say this yesterday. Maybe when you're in the presence of the Lord, you want his prophecies to be fulfilled more than ever, including the vengeance and wrath part.
Right.
And so the response of Jesus to that is, wait a little while. Your number is yet not complete. Just be patient, but it's coming. And so, you know, that's part of the package. And a lot of times we don't, you know, certainly there's a lot of churches today that don't want to talk about that thing. I want it to happen too.
That makes two of us.
Do you really think that I want anything other than God's wrath to fall on the mullahs of Iran, who have probably slaughtered 85,000 of their the people in Iran because they wouldn't go along with them? You really think that I want them to be? I'm sorry. I want them to get what's coming to them.
Mm-hmm. I think that's just a number we know now. It probably raised higher as we speak.
Right.
Because you know how that goes, John. The numbers go up quick over there.
Right. So anyway, the numbers, you know, you hear 2,000, 3,000, then it's 36,000. And then there was a French guy on I-24 French news the other night, and he said 84,000 and some odd numbers as of a few days ago.
That's a lot.
So what they're doing, by the way, this is sort of off the topic we're talking about. They've stopped, at least from what I've been able to determine, information that's got past the digital gulag wall that they've put up.
Mm-hmm.
That they're no longer returning bodies to the families.
Wow.
They're keeping these body bags of bodies. Why? Because if Israel, the United States, attacks, they're going to drag out those body bags and say, look at all the people that Israel and the United States killed. And this is a genocide. When they have done the genocide. And the UN, by the way, I put up a blank screen yesterday during my presentation. I said, this is a picture of all the protests that are taking place at all the American and other left-wing universities around the world protesting the slaughter in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, I would, this is the Vendog Haller Challenge.
Yes.
Go find me a video clip from the last few months of Candace, Tucker, Jackson Hinkle, Stu Peters, all these Jew-hating idiots that mention the slaughter in Iran. Now, and it doesn't count if they say it's Jews that did it. Because this is what, and so it kind of annoys me. I post something negative about Tucker. They go, Tucker's a wonderful guy. He cares about Second Amendment rights. I don't care. I really don't care if he supports the Second Amendment. You get that?
Exactly. Tucker Carlson has been a
out of your whatever and open your eyes and look at what's going on. Tucker does this all the time. He sets himself up as this innocent little guy, and I just really care. So the clip you played of him where he was talking about they brag about killing kids. No, they don't, Tucker. That's not what the Amalek story is about. Go read your Bible. You don't like the Old Testament, I know. Pry open your mind and read it and find out exactly what happened with regard to Amalek. And then his descendant Agag, which is kind of an interesting story. I think it happens at Gilgal. So the prophet Samuel, I've been to Shiloh where Samuel grew up, where his mother dedicated him to the Lord, where he heard the voice of God. And this is when the priesthood was very corrupt. Eli's sons were incredibly corrupt, and they died. They got killed. And then Eli, when Samuel told him that they're dead in battle, he fell over and died.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the Ark of the Covenant was for hundreds of years, probably at least 300. Some say 369. I don't think it was that long. But anyway, so I've been to Shiloh many times. I was just there a couple times in October and November. Samuel told King Saul, take out Amalek, or take out Agag.
I remember that.
And it's a very interesting verse. This is the prophet of God. Saul didn't do it. Samuel, bring Agag to me.
Samuel took care of it.
And it says, and Samuel hacked Agag, took a sword, I think Saul's sword, and hacked Agag to pieces at Gilgal. I've been to Gilgal. These are very interesting stories. Okay. So when you see this passage in Isaiah 61, it says, and the day of vengeance of our God. And next to it, it says, and to comfort those who mourn. God has a way of doing things, and I think we better get with the program. So anyway, so the I just saw somebody, I think it's Sandy, said something about a mission trip to Bethlehem in July. So pray for her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Bethlehem is a tough place. So Sandy, this is for you. This is a story from Israel. So I was walking with a friend through the old city. It's during Sukkot, so there's Shabbats all the time, and there's nobody around. There's not many. It's Sukkot. Christians don't come because every day, it seems like every other day is a Shabbat. Things are closed. So I'm in the old city walking with a friend. We stopped at a shop in the Christian Quarter. My friend knew the shop owner. And we're there talking about prophecy and geopolitics in Jerusalem. I mean, it's really kind of a good place to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And this very lovely young lady is walking by, and she stops and stands there and looks at us and listens. And I turn and I look at her, and when I looked at her, she said, "I'm sorry. I'm just fascinated by what you're talking about." I'm sort of thinking like, this is very weird. So here's this old lawyer talking about prophecy and geopolitics in the old city of Jerusalem, and a passerby is interested. It's just kind of strange. So I said, who are you? She gave me her name. And I said, tell me about yourself. And she said, she works in she lives in Bethlehem. She works in the system to help them. She said, when I came to Bethlehem, I was the most pro-Palestinian person you would ever meet. And what do you think now? And she said, she just said, I do not see how anything short of the removal of them from Israel is going to solve the problem. So pray for Christians in Bethlehem. I've heard this from many Christians that they're threatened, they're under pressure. So when Tucker, Candace, the Christ at the Checkpoint people, Munther Isaac, who Tucker interviewed, and he's a liberation theologian, claims to be a Lutheran pastor and all this stuff. He's very pro-Palestinian. They completely capitulate to the Muslim ideology, and they kind of invert reality. So Munther Isaac will put up the baby Jesus like after October 7th. At Christmas, he put baby Jesus in a manger in a pile of rubble wrapped in a Palestinian keffiyeh. Because he's trying to send a message. And this is, I mean, the same sort of thing that the Pope did Pope Francis did when he went to Jerusalem in 2014 or 2015. He was that Pope was he wasn't Catholic to any degree. He was a radical leftist. But anyway, so I'm just saying is so that they claim, well, there's less Christians now because of Jewish oppression. It's not Jewish oppression, it's Muslim oppression. There's the Jewish population of Israel's gone up.
Yeah.
But the Christian population of the Muslim controlled areas has gone down. So anyway.
Wow. Incriminating.
It was just a very interesting conversation. And by the way, I later confirmed her story with other people in Israel. They knew who she was.
Oh, wow. Wow. What gets me is that these people, all they do is just like, oh, well, the reason why these things are happening in Iran is because the Mossad did it. I'm like, oh, there they go again, John. There they go again.
Right.
I'm like, are you serious? You expect us to believe something that's false? My goodness.
Right. So I'll give you another story. So there was an interesting, I mentioned this in my sermon yesterday. I guess I ended up giving my sermon a second time. So it's probably going to be as incoherent as it was the first time. But so I'm reading this passage about Jesus, and one of the things I brought up was that there's a set portion every week for Torah and Haftorah, for the law and the prophets, that is read in Jewish synagogues. So Jesus was there reading what he was supposed to read that day, and he did, but then he sat down, he made commentary on it, and they didn't like the message. But it's very interesting that when yesterday, the Torah portion was from Exodus, chapters 13 to 17. And it happens all the time. So part of the story that's there, it's Moses, they're getting ready to leave Egypt, and he gathers up the bones of Joseph. It's really one of my favorite, even when I was a little kid, it was like, why do they care about the bones of Joseph? We'll go back to Genesis 50. In Genesis 50, Joseph says, I'm about to die. Take my bones with you when you go back to the land of our fathers. And then it says Joseph died and they put him in a coffin in Egypt. Now go forward. That's Genesis 50. Now we go into Exodus. This is hundreds of years later. Moses comes in to act on Joseph's dying wish. Take my bones with you back to Israel and bury me there. So Moses takes Joseph's coffin, and I was always fascinated by this. You know, they left Egypt. It was 40 years till they got to the Holy Land. Moses didn't make it, but Joseph's bones did. And it's interesting. So I'm doing the sermon on Moshiach, who had in his first coming fulfilled the role of Mosiah ben Yosef, the suffering servant Joseph, whose bones they brought back to Israel. And that was in the Torah portion for all Jewish synagogues around the world this week. Somehow I do not think that it is an accident. However, the other part of that is this week in the news, Shechem, by the way, they took Joseph and they brought him to a place that Jacob had bought. And remember, like a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Jesus with the Samaritan woman at the well, right?
Yes.
That's in Shechem. I've been to the well. You can go to the well. By the way, it's said to be a very deep well. So I took a cup of water, I poured it into the well, and I don't know the physics. You can calculate the depth 4.5 seconds before it hit water.
Wow.
That means it's over 200 feet deep.
Mm.
So when the scripture tells you in Shechem, there's a very deep well that Jacob bought, and you go there and it's 200 feet deep, right at the place that it should be, pretty good idea that the scripture is accurate. So anyway, so suffering servant Joseph's bones, they brought Joseph and they buried him at Shechem in his tomb.
Mm-hmm.
Front page news, Sunday or Friday or Sunday in the Jerusalem Post, Jews do morning prayers at Shechem for first time in 25 years. It's in an Arab area in Nablus. It's very difficult to go to. My friend Bill Koenig and his wife Tanya, they went there a few months ago. They had to go under armed IDF guard and armored vehicles to go to Joseph's tomb, a Jewish holy site in the land of Israel that the vast, vast, vast majority of Jews have never been to.
Wow.
I have been to the Tel at Shechem.
Mm-hmm.
You can read about it in Joshua 24.
Yep.
Joshua has them there. He puts half the tribes on Mount Ebal to shout the curses if they fail to keep the law. He puts half the tribes on Mount Gerizim, where they shout the blessings if they keep the law. It's interesting. And then what have they found on the Mount of Curses? Joshua's altar. Where would you need Joshua's altar? On the Mount of Curses. I was there just in October with my tour group. And if you go on the fall, you'll be back there again. We had to go. It's Joshua's altar, Vinny. We had to go in there in a special bus.
Wow.
Bulletproof windows with an armed IDF escort to go to a Jewish holy site in Israel.
That's insane.
So Pam and I were there in 2017, and some very wonderful friends had made arrangements for us to go around with Joel Kramer, the archaeologist, who has this book right here called Where God Came Down.
Ooh.
Get thee to Amazon and buy this book. I don't get anything for this. I think this is part 1. Yeah, it says book 1 in the Bible and Archaeology Speak series. Joel, I'm waiting for book 2. Joel, are you?
If you hear us.
So, but we went to the Tel at Shechem. It's exactly like the scripture should say.
Mm-hmm.
In Joshua 24, it says after they did this ceremony, there were a couple things that happened. Joshua took a stone, a standing stone, and erected it there to memorialize what they did. So, in the area of the temple, when they were excavating it, they found this big stone. It was about 21, 22 feet long, tall, laying on its side. And they broke it into pieces. And then somebody said, hey, wait a minute, maybe we should not, maybe this is a significant stone. But they found a trough there.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, that must be, when you do an archaeological thing, you have to interpret what the site means. So he said, well, it's a trough. It looks like you put water or food in it. It's probably for sheep or livestock or something. And then somebody said, well, but it's open on one end. You wouldn't put water in there because it'd run out.
Mm-hmm.
Even ancient Israelites do that, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy experiment. Somebody said, well, that trough kind of looks like the bottom of that stone. They picked up the stone, fit perfectly in the trough.
Yikes.
It was the trough to hold the standing stone of Joshua. So the bottom part will last like 7 feet. You can go there today and touch the stone that Joshua erected in Shechem, where all this stuff happened. And then just off the tell is Joseph's tomb, because it also says in Joshua, I think it's in Joshua 24. So here's Joseph, his bones. They've been dragging this stuff through the wilderness for 40 years. Poor Joseph in his coffin. It's like the longest funeral procession in history. And it says, and Joshua buried Joseph in a tomb in Shechem at the place that his father Yaakov had purchased.
Wow.
And Jews go there today only under armed guard. When we left Shechem that day in May of 2017, it was when Trump came to Israel. And the Palestinians were kind of fired up. They were pretty angry. And we couldn't go to Joseph's tomb that day, but we went to Shechem. As we left Shechem, there's a checkpoint. Jewish soldiers.
Right.
They had the thing closed down. A Jewish settler had shot and killed a couple Palestinians the day before. They had riots at Nablus. You could see where they had burned out cars and piles of tires that they had set on fire. And now we're stuck in line to leave Shechem in a car. Pam, my wife, and Joel Kramer with about 25 Palestinian trucks and vehicles. And all Palestinian guys. So it's Pam and I and Joel. And so Joel says, give me your passports. He goes up, he talks to the soldiers. The soldiers go to him. And they've had soldiers stabbed at that checkpoint. IDF soldiers stabbed and killed.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, this is, you have to be there to experience this. Okay. And a lot of people, I tell them I went to Shechem, and they're like, in Israel, they're like, are you out of your mind? That's in Nablus. Nobody got, and by the way, when you go into Nablus, as you're going to the tell at Shechem and the church over Jacob's Well, every intersection in Nablus is a martyr square. Somebody who left there and went and did a suicide bombing in Israel and killed men, women, and children. Actually killed men, women, and children, Tucker Carlson, which you never seem to talk about because you're a lying, Jew-hating creep. Okay. Political comment over. So anyway, so the soldier goes, why, guys, you can't stay in Nablus. It's not safe. And Joel says, I know, that's why we want to leave. That's why you need to let us through the checkpoint. He goes, why are you there? It's an Orthodox Jewish soldier. And he goes, we went to Shechem. The soldier actually started crying. He said, I'm Orthodox Jew. The one place I have wanted to visit all of my life, I was born in Israel, is Shechem. And because I'm a Jew, I can't go there. Tell me about it.
That's terrible.
Vinny, this happens all the time around Israel. In the biblical heartland, it's difficult to go to the place. And so that's why on my tour, it might cost a little bit more because we have to make some special provisions to do this. But we will go to these biblical sites. And so when you look at Israel today, the area where Jews can't go a lot of time is the biblical heartland of the Bible. I took my group to Bethel. Remember Jacob's Ladder?
Yep.
Dream of Jacob's Ladder.
And he was wrestling with God.
That's where Lot and Abram looked down the valley. And Abram said, and Lot goes, I want all that green stuff down there. Okay, you go down there. And of course, that's what Sodom and Gomorrah was. That's another story. But the point is, a lot of Jews have never been there.
Wow.
It's a scandal to me. And so I don't want to hear all your garbage about how bad Jews are. It's the UN and the Palestinians and the Muslims that won't let Jews go to the heartland where they have established themselves.
Mm.
Anyway.
Wow. That's horrible. And you know what? I know that the level of Jew hatred is like reaching an all-time high. I mean, look at that. Look at the hats that I put on my website. People get upset when they see the Israeli flag, John. A flag.
So I was the other day. So when I was in Israel, I was, it's expensive to take a cab from the airport, to Jerusalem. It's like $150. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be the responsible guy. I'm going to take the train and the light rail to the hotel, and then it's a 2-block walk from the light rail station to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It's 95 degrees. Oh. So I get to the train. It's Sunday morning. The train is packed. I get down to Jerusalem to the train station. I got to go up an elevator. I have to wait 6 times. The elevator goes up and down before I can get on. That's how many people. It's like wall-to-wall people. I've got a suitcase, the roller overnight bag, and my laptop in this massive crowd. And then I've got to go up these stairs or escalators. Then I got to go over and wait for the light rail. I get on the light rail. There's nothing. So I go all the way to the hotel, and we're one stop from the hotel, and they have trouble with some of the new light rail cars, and that they're electric. And so they have a lot of torque. It's like these light rail cars accelerate like a Tesla, which is okay unless you're standing in the aisle trying to balance your luggage and everything on 95 degrees. So I go flying down the aisle, and these IDF soldiers come over and help pick me up. Like, oh, this poor old man, look what happened to him. So I get down to the hotel. I made a mistake. It's very confusing on a map. And I made a slightly wrong turn. And all of a sudden I ended up, the hotel is built on a hill, and you go in on the 6th floor of the hotel, and then you go down to the rooms. 6 floors.
Wow.
So it's pretty steep. Anyway, I had to drag 100 pounds of luggage back up this hill, 95 degrees. I'm sweating. I look like I'm probably dying.
You need some water.
Well, it's one of these things where I'm glad that not everybody has their camera phone on. Okay. So I'm walking into because this is related to Tucker. I start walking down the driveway to the hotel, and here comes this great guy, Dumasani Washington. Dumasani Washington is one of the guys that I respect almost as much as anybody on the planet. About almost 2 years ago, he and a young lady from Epic Times did an article. Her name is Karis Ray. They wrote an article called The Arsonist for Tablet Magazine. It was about Tucker Carlson's interview of Gunther Isaac. And it is a master class on dismantling the fraud that Tucker Carlson is, the Jew-hating fraud that he is, and how he repeats these Palestinian, Muslim, Arab false narratives. So I said, Dumasani, is that the great Dumasani Washington? So I interviewed Dumasani about 2 weeks ago. You can find that on our channel. You should go watch that podcast.
Put that in the live chat, folks, so that that they can watch it at the end.
It was about 2 weeks ago. Mark Sutherland and I did it. And so the other day, Karis Ray did an interview with JNS, and then Dumasani and Karis were also on a panel at the Combating Anti-Semitism conference that was in Israel. So I posted a link. I think it was the Kiris Ray interview. I went over to Dumasani's Facebook page. He's got a thing called IBSI, Institute for Black Solidarity with Israel, IBSI.
Oh, okay.
And on there, he had posted a link to some of the comments he made at the Combating Anti-Semitism conference in Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Vinny, the comments from people who claim to be Christians on his Facebook page
were vile.
Were some of the most vile Jew hate. I mean, they would make Hitler blush. What is going on? So, ouch. And so we see this all the time. So let me go back to Tucker real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Tucker does this thing. You played the clip. He also does this thing, I think, in that interview with Sink Uyghur from the Young Turks, who's a Muslim Brotherhood propagandist himself. And this is the guy. Why would Tucker have him on if he wasn't trying to propagate Muslim Brotherhood propaganda? Anyway, but I think in that interview he says, "Oh yeah, the Palestinians or the Jews shot up the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem in 1994." It's a complete lie.
Yeah,
the Palestinians took over the church. They defecated on the altar.
Yeah,
they kidnapped and killed people.
Mm-hmm.
The Jews went in to free the church. Now a lying crud like Tucker Carlson says, "Oh, look what look at the bad stuff the Jews did at the Church of the Nativity."
That's a total lie.
Only believe that if you were completely blinded. By the way, I do not think that you could be that blinded to the truth unless you're unsaved.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, absolutely. And I tell people that Tucker Carlson has always had a hatred for Jews, even when he was with Fox News.
I did a panel with Jonathan Tobin, who's the editor-in-chief of JNS.
Mm-hmm.
Now, go to jns.org. It's a great website where you'll get a lot of good, solid information. And Jonathan Tobin, we did a panel it was a year before the 2024 election.
Oh, okay.
And Tobin told me, and he said he has since said this on his own podcast on JNS, that he worked at Fox. He worked with Tucker. Everybody knew that Tucker was a Jew hater and anti-Israel, and you just weren't allowed to talk about it. Now he doesn't have any editorial control. So,
wow.
So anyway, so I get a bit exercise about this because, and so here we are yesterday talking about Jesus. He divides his ministry into this Josiah ben Yosef, Moshiach ben Yosef, and Moshiach ben David by the way he handles the scripture in the synagogue in Nazareth and his first public appearance there as in his ministry. And the Torah portion is about Joseph's bones. The Jews are able to go and pray at Joseph's tomb in the morning for the first time in 25 years. And the same week, the main story in the news in Israel was the return of the bones and body of the last hostage from Gaza, all closely tied to the Torah portion, set in advance years and years and years ago that this was going to be read this week. This happens all the time. So,
yeah. I'm right there with you when it comes to, these people just elevating Jew hatred all around. I mean, from Tucker Carlson to Nick Fuentes to Irandis Owens, it just makes me sick.
Yeah. So it's unbelievable when you post something like this. The hatred you get is just unbelievable from people who claim to be Christians. So I would go to Twitter. I would follow Insurrection Barbie at defiantly DefiYant, defiantly free. Also follow Dumasani Washington. You'll learn a lot by following those guys.
Wow, Dumasani Washington. I got to remember that.
Yeah, and he does stuff. It's a master class in the way he dismantles this. So just go to the Combating Anti-Semitism conference that was put on in Jerusalem last week. He was on a panel with headed up by Gadi Taub with Karis Ray from, I don't know if she's still with Epic Times. I know she does work for them. Great young, intelligent commentator on things in the world. Somebody else you should follow as well.
Okay. All right. Wow. This today's show is going to get even more interesting, guys, because John and I wanted to talk about this.
What's this one?
This one is about China.
Oh yeah. Now we get to the good news part of the interview.
Yeah, this is a good news portion of the show.
So here's the deal. So you can go, remember all the pictures they put up of the Iranian leadership, and they put X's over all the leaders that Israel has taken out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now you can do X out the Chinese military leaders. I'm pretty sure of the top 9 leaders, 8 of them are gone. They've been purged in the last week. So there's two. First of all, China has a number of problems. One, when I think of China, I keep having this image of those cockroach type parasites that came to take all of Earth's resources in the movie Independence Day. And
that was kind of.
I kind of think China is like the people that were invading the Earth at that time. That's how the Chinese leadership.
Yes.
Okay, so China has a bad economy. They're in huge trouble. Huge trouble.
Right.
They right now. So the world economy is down. People aren't buying as much stuff, right? We're not buying as much stuff. Maybe it's just because we're older and we're trying to figure out how to get rid of the stuff.
Yeah, we're trying to downsize here.
Yeah. I have an old Scotty Cameron putter that I might be willing to let go. For a negotiated price, of course. And because I got a different putter, hopefully, because I'm convinced that spending money to buy a new putter will fix all my. Actually, this one's working. So I bought a lab putter, and anyway, we'll see how it goes. If the snow ever melts here in the north, we're a couple months away from golf here in the north, at least at this point. But I'll be in California in 5 weeks, so hopefully I'll be playing out there when I'm there. But China continues to make all this stuff, but there's nobody buying it. So it's all fake in their economy, their numbers. They're producing stuff and they're storing it in warehouses.
And it's not moving.
No, now in their real estate market, they're building all of these cities. Their population is crashing. Because of one-child policy. Now, they claim they have over 1 billion people. I've seen very good videos that said, wait a minute, you've had a one-child policy for over 50 years and you claim your population went up by 500 million. It doesn't make any sense. And so there's a good, credible talk that maybe China only has 500 million people.
Wow.
But their population
is very old, isn't it?
It's aging, and they don't have kids. They have probably 80 million marriageable age men that have no hope of a spouse, because not only did they have a one-child policy, it was biased towards men. So they have 80 million excess males with no hope of a spouse. Even if it's only 40 million, that's a lot of excess males. Okay. And that's a problem for all this stuff. So anyway, so when you, their population is crashing. For years, there have been these reports of ghost cities in China, cities that have been built to accommodate 2 million, 3 million people, and nobody lives there. Shopping malls, skyscrapers, apartments, it's all fake. And now the chickens are coming home to roost for China. Their population is crashing. In fact, I just saw a video yesterday. The same thing is happening in Japan. Japan is losing population.
Wow.
Just through natural demographics, not having kids, people aging and dying of old age. Their population is going down 1 to 2 million people every single year.
That's a lot for Japan.
Right. So Japan's 40 million people.
Yeah.
Losing 2 million people a year.
Wow.
They say in the interior of Japan, there are whole villages that are now no longer occupied. In China, there are cities that are no longer occupied. Now, the question is, what does this mean from a geopolitical and Bible prophecy standpoint? Because they're linked together. And so I think this is the case. So the question that's being asked today, is China more or less dangerous now than it was before they purged 8 of their top generals out of the military?
I'd say they'd be less.
That might be. It also may be that Xi wants to go out with a bang. I mean, he's my age. He's like 72 or something like that. So he's not going to be around forever. You know, this kind of hits you a different way when you get older. So I'm 71. Catherine O'Hara, the actress, she died Saturday.
Oh yeah, the Home Alone actress.
Right. She's 71. She's actually 8 days younger than I am. And so when you see that, when you open the newspaper and it's like somebody 8 days younger than you just died of natural causes or a brief illness, it's sort of like, oh, yeah, maybe I need to start getting rid of my stuff. You know?
She's a very hateful and spiteful woman, though.
Well, I don't know. I heard she was nice. People said she was nice. I don't know. I don't know what she was, but anyway, Erdogan, by the way, is 2 days younger than me. He'll be 72 in a few weeks, a couple of days after I'm 72. And I said to somebody the other day, may he always be younger than me. You know, may his last thing may always be younger than me when he dies, which means I'll still be alive. But not that it's going to make that much difference to me if I go. But anyway, so I don't know. China is brought in these young generals that might be more inclined to invade Taiwan, and she may want to go out with a bang. So he may put this, he may put this do something. I'm going to build my legacy by taking over Taiwan. I don't know. And I don't know if it's going to go that well for him. I mean, Taiwan has targeting information.
Yeah, and didn't the U.S. help them out with some things as well?
Right, but so Taiwan Taiwan's not going to not just roll over, right?
No, not at all.
They could blockade them. That probably would be a very difficult, make the situation very difficult for Taiwan. But Taiwan has a plan. What is it? We're going to take out their major dams on the rivers. If they do that, and China has 1 billion population, which I don't think they do, China could lose in the flooding hundreds of millions of people with a few missiles properly placed.
Oh, wow.
This has this wars and rumors of things like all blowing up in our face right now. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I really don't. So But China's very volatile right now, as is Russia. I mean, this is all, as is Iran. So the question is, like, what are we going to do with Iran? And everybody's mad Trump hasn't done anything, but it's like, I want him to do something. I want these mullahs to get what's coming to them, but you have to think through what's it look like on the other side.
That's true. Yeah.
And if on the other side, you can't, if Iran descends into a civil war and ends up looking like Syria, tens of millions of people are going to die. I don't want to be the guy who makes that call. I pray for Trump. It's a very difficult decision to make.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's, we're going to drop a few bombs and everything's going to be okay. I do not see that that's going to happen. So I just, so you need to pray for wisdom of our leaders. And China, you're right, Vinny. China's a very big deal right now. I mean, Xi came out today and said, hey, why don't we just adopt the Chinese yuan as the new reserve currency of the world? That would have a huge impact on us.
Yeah. I think he's getting really desperate, don't you think?
It could be. I mean, who's getting desperate? I mean, everybody's desperate for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Europe is but so here's an example. So I saw a video the other night of this gal. She was in the Spanish parliament, or she was a Spanish political leader. She's white. Her husband is white. Her children is white. And her whole speech is, we got to bring in black people to replace us, our white privileged people. It's like, and so then what did Spain do this week? Just the other day.
Oh, no.
500 million people will get, immigrants will get that. Will be able to come in. That's not true. It was a complete lie. It's and you see these people lined up at embassies all over, and they're all military-age men, no women, no children. 500,000 of these people to come into Spain, but they're allowed to bring their families with them. It's not 5 million. It's probably 500,000. It's probably close to 10 times that amount. It will completely collapse Spain. And do you think they're going to stay in Spain? If you do, I have a plane in Spain to sell you.
Oh, I have a
the
question
rain
from
in Spain.
Dora for you, John.
Yeah, what's that?
Dora has a question for you. She goes, did you hear about AI church created on Facebook?
A what?
An AI religion created on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Dora.
The Church of Molt.
Mm-hmm.
So slide the bar all the way back to the beginning. Yeah, there's question is, was that done by AI or was that done by some guy? I don't care who did it. It was done with AI.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. And that's what Yuval Harari was talking about at Davos last week. We're going to be able to do a better job at religion because AI is better than any human has ever been. AI is a god. And so this, by the way, so Insurrection Barbie, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Boy, does she have the right verse on her X account. Maybe I think I need to go and put that on mine. Now that I think about it.
Let's copycat that one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, imitation is, I don't even know who this person is. I'm just telling you, she's writing stuff about the organization of the left, what's going on with these riots in Minnesota. And by the way, so we have a lot of immigrants from a certain Caribbean country. In Springfield, Ohio, was kind of an issue in the last election.
Oh yeah, you're talking about those animal lovers in a certain way.
Well, yeah, you know,
yeah.
There's some left-wing guy. He claims to be a historian. He is a complete lunatic, and he posted something on Facebook today, And I'm telling you, Vinny, an Ohio guy, claims to be a historian.
Mm-hmm.
He's a left-wing propagandist. And reading through the comments, it's like, I said to a friend of mine, it's about go protest ICE. This is the beginning of another left-wing led insurrection in Springfield, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch what happens. It's highly organized.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the start, at least. And this is in the middle part of the country. Springfield is 40 minutes from my house.
Mm-hmm.
And 20% of the town is immigrants.
Ouch.
Over the last few years.
I mean, look what happened to that one town in Michigan that was what was it, a Polish community? And now it's fully Muslim.
Yeah, well, the first trip Pam and I took after we were married, we didn't have much money, but we scraped the money together and we went up to Dearborn, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Dearborn was Dearborn, before Dearborn earned the name Dearbornistan. And that's where the Henry Ford Museum is. Mm-hmm. Even though he was a Jew hater, he has a good museum.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has this piece of Americana there called Greenfield Village.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like our first overnight trip we took, really, other than our honeymoon after we were married. So we went up to Detroit. That's how poor you are. You're taking a vacation to Detroit. How desperate are you, And but Dearborn was much different back in those days. But now it's like the Middle East. Listen, I've been all over the West Bank, Judea, Samaria, Muslim communities in the West Bank. We went to London like 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke at a conference. So we spent about a week in London. I saw more burqas near my hotel in London than I did the year before when we were in Nablus and other parts, Muslim parts of Israel. In London, at our hotel, we stayed at a Marriott called Marriott Marble Arch, beautiful hotel. 4 blocks from the hotel is a thing called Marble Arch. What's that Marble Arch? It's part of the Hyde Park. On the other side of Hyde Park is a place called Buckingham Palace. That's like where the Queen lived.
Mm-hmm.
Marble Arch is where you walk into the Hyde Park, and that's called Speaker's Corner, the great free speech part. So 4 blocks from there in our hotel, we had 50 channels available on the television.
And how many were Middle Eastern sounding?
10 of them were Arabic.
Wow.
And I saw more, like I said, more burqas there. And I went out for a walk one night to get something. And everything was Turkish, Middle Eastern, Lebanese, Iraqi, Afghanistan. This is one of the most exclusive areas of London.
Wow.
And so it was sort of, well, when I spoke at a conference up in the Central Highlands, and some people took us down to London. And these are great guys. They do missions in India and all this stuff. So they're not racist or anything. But they said, we're now in London, John, and it's time to play our favorite game. Can you spot a real Englishman?
That's not good.
No, I mean, and it's tongue in cheek, but it's like, maybe not. Maybe we can't.
Yeah. Because if I'm going to England, I want to see the English people.
Right. They don't have that great of food, but
yeah.
I love
these and mash.
I have these videos keep popping up on my YouTube feed, and they're like, British people go to Terry Black's barbecue in Austin for the first time. And it's all the North Korean goes to Terry Black's barbecue, or Polish people go to Terry Black's barbecue, or some other restaurant in America. there's these two British guys who've been all over America. They just went back recently, and they're like, they go to this barbecue place, and they're like, it's melting in my mouth like butter, but it tastes like beef. It's the most wonderful thing I've ever eaten in my life. I love watching it. It's sort of like when I see people do this, I keep thinking like, this is how we're going to react when we get to heaven. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The food will taste better. Everything will be Terry.
Everything's going to be great.
Or In-N-Out or whatever. I love In-N-Out, but that's...
Oh, speaking of In-N-Out, John, you're going to like this. I don't know if you saw this yet or not.
Go ahead.
In-N-Out owner refuses to take Bible verses off of the products despite the backlash.
Snyder is her name, isn't it?
Yes, she's the granddaughter.
Right. Yeah, she's like a billion. She was like a billionaire at age 28 or something. Like that. Pretty rough life. Although I will say, it's kind of an interesting story. She seems like a wonderful person, but like her dad died early.
Yeah.
Her mother died early. Then her grandparents died, and so here she is. She's like 20 years old, and she's in charge of In-N-Out. So she's expanding it. Better bring it to Ohio, my friend.
For what Pastor Jack says, she's a very nice lady.
That's what I've heard. He told me that as well.
So, and John, there's some other. You know what? I have more. We have some more good news, guys. Don't worry. I know the good news is we're all going to be in heaven one day, but here's some good news too.
A double.
Yeah, we're gonna, John. We're gonna be there in March.
That's right. Yeah, I think I'm going to be down at Temecula with Tom Hughes on March 8th, and then I'm going to be in Vegas, which has In-N-Outs with these guys.
Yeah, we're gonna. Hey, and you know what? We're gonna cut up some madness in Vegas, guys.
And then I'm going to be at Brandon Holthouse's church,
the 11th
Harbor on March 11th.
Boy, John, you're making your West Coast rounds.
Yeah, like I said, it's great because my wife's stepfather's turning 99 in March. So
nice. Yeah.
So we were out there last year. We saw him, and he has a house. He lives in his own house.
Oh,
still.
Nice.
He doesn't drive. He gave up driving, and but that may be a lot of people in California give up driving because it's such a miserable experience.
Yeah, the mileage tax coming in too.
Oh yeah. So anyway, he says, Pam, my housekeeper, I think I can afford to pay her for 8 more years before I tap equity in my house. And Pam goes, Tom, you're 98. You're planning 8 years. You're saying this part of my money is going to last 8 years. Then I have to get some money from here for more time. Tell me you don't feel that you understand what I'm saying? He's like 98 and he doesn't feel that bad.
Wow.
I know.
I think he's going to 105 plus.
Well, his dad did 99 and his brother's 98, 97. So we'll see.
Yeah. I was in high school, and when I was in high school, I volunteered at a hospital. And I kid you not, there was a lady, she was 101 years old, that volunteered at the hospital. And mind you, she was more in shape than most people that were my age at that time.
Oh, she volunteered at the hospital.
Yeah, she volunteered at the hospital.
So my friend who passed away, who was playing golf with me, and had the 2 hole-in-ones, we used to go out to play golf in Sun City, West Arizona, where he lived. And they played in groups of 5. And we used to joke, I was 40, Glenn was 57, and we brought the average age of the fivesome down to 85. And these guys are out there, they're playing golf 5 days a week, at 85, 86, 90, 92. So just a quick, so we're playing golf. So the people there that you get kind of when you live in a community of old people, you get kind of a morbid sense of reality. So they used to call Sun City West heaven's biggest waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're playing golf one day and a siren goes down the street. We're standing on the tee box and the guy goes, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it didn't go down my street, so I don't even have to call home.
Oh, me, oh my. Wow.
There's a good comment here. That 100-year-old volunteer was smart. She wanted to be near where she could get help immediately. In case
Oh, man.
So we'll give that person an award for the most smart aleck comment of the evening. So.
Yeah. They win the trophy today. Yeah, that's going to be a great conference in Las Vegas too. Living in the Last Days Prophecy Conference.
Yeah,
that's going to be awesome.
Well, we've been at this for a while. We don't want to wear out our welcome. Maybe we need to kind of
wrap it up.
By the way, Pastor Beanie Pants, it's John at John Haller 54 on X, not John Haller 55 as you have in the comments. He's that guy's a real creep. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know if there's an at John Haller 55 on it. Maybe I should check before I say anything because maybe I've been typing it wrong all along.
No, it's at Jan Haller 54.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it is.
At John Haller 55. So
before we go, John, I want your comments on this. And this is one that was in the wrong port earlier in
evangelical Christianity is a cancer. These are the worst of our country. These are the worst people in our country because they use their religion in two ways, as a weapon and as a shield. They weaponize it whenever they want to and say, we're on the moral high ground. You're a lesbian. You deserve to die. You're a lesbian. The cops shouldn't have revived you. Oh, your parents are Mexicans and they brought you over here. Yeah, you should go to jail and eat worm food. And then when you call them out on it, oh my God, they're after the Christians. How dare they? How dare they? We're so oppressed. White Christians are so oppressed in this country. And they want it both ways because in the religion, that duplicity is taught. You can be morally duplicitous. You thrive in cognitive dissonance. And so this is just a massive, massive problem. And it should come as no surprise to anyone that of this cult that I'm talking about, white evangelicals, I think over 80% went and voted triple trumped.
Wait a minute. Hold on, John. I'm checking real quick. So I'm a darker version of a white evangelical Christian. Hold on.
So, there was a video that I played. I'll do this, Vinny. I'm gonna send you a link in your by text. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you can grab this. It's from an X feed.
Okay.
Of a lady. Her name is Helen Andrews.
Okay.
And she spoke at the National Conservatism Conference last week about toxic femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And what people are referring to now is the wokeifada. And I would, if I was President Trump, I would pick up the phone, I would call this lady, and I would invite her to the White House and give her a Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Wow.
So I don't know if you can grab that video and play it.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to grab it right. I'm grabbing it right now. That was interesting, right? These people are sick.
This is a master class. Yeah. So listen, while you get that, I'm going to comment on what those ladies said. This is gaslighting. This is the very definition of gaslighting. They accuse you of being what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to die. And how dare they invoke the name of God with their garbage? How dare they? God's keeping, listen, we don't need to worry about AI. God is keeping track. Okay? God is keeping track. So here's Helen Andrews, if you can get it.
Yeah, I'm about to get her right about now. But John, that was when I saw that, I'm like, wow, that is just absolutely disgusting.
Okay, so this is like, so the poison toxic thing that you played, Helen Andrews is the antidote to that.
Oh,
here we go.
Means valuing empathy over rationality, safety over risk. But if you want to put it in a single sentence, you could say that feminization equals wokeness. Everything you think of as wokeness is simply an epiphenomenon of demographic feminization. Think about all the things that wokeness means. Valuing empathy over rationality, safety over risk, conformity and cohesion over competition and hierarchy. All of these things are privileging the feminine over the masculine. So if you have ever wondered why wokeness appeared out of nowhere when it did, that is my hypothesis, that all of the institutions that began admitting women in the 1970s eventually got enough women that they were able to reorient them. For example, women are consistently less supportive of free speech than men in surveys asking which is more important, protecting free speech or preserving an inclusive society. Approximately 2/3 of men say free speech, and approximately 2/3 of women say inclusive society. In moral reasoning, the traditional way of phrasing the difference between men and women is to say that women have an ethics of caring and men have an ethics of justice. In making a moral judgment, men will ask, what are the rules and what are the facts? Women tend to be more interested in context and relationships. So let's apply that to wokeness. When James Damore wrote his famous, or I should say notorious memo for Google, arguing that female underrepresentation in the hard sciences might not be the result of bias and prejudice, no one even attempted to argue that he was wrong on the facts. The reason that he was fired was because the things he had written might make his female coworkers feel bad.
Oh.
Or consider the Kavanaugh hearings. The masculine position was to say that maybe something bad happened to you, but if you do not have evidence, then we can't allow you to ruin a man's life and career over it. The feminine position was to say, how can you talk about rules of evidence? Can't you see she's crying? Now, to be clear, many women were revolted by the way the Kavanaugh hearings played out. In fact, the very best book on the Kavanaugh hearings was written by two women, Molly Hemingway and Carrie Severino. But a political system in which men predominate will tend to operate according to rules of facts and objectivity, and one in which women predominate will tend to operate by the rules of emotions and subjective facts, even if there are individual men and women who fall on the opposite side of those camps.
Wow. Point blank.
Bingo.
Wow.
Yep. That's a clap-worthy one.
Man, wow, John, that she hit the nail on that.
Like I said, President Trump gives her the Presidential Medal of Freeman immediately.
Wow.
By herself, and then let her, talk for an hour.
She
poll numbers go through the roof.
Wow. She devoured and debunked that previous video.
Yep.
Wow.
By the way, there's a book out there called Toxic Empathy along the same line by Allie Beth Stuckey, who does a great job. She's got a YouTube channel. She does a good enough job that the big article right now in the Atlantic magazine is a article attacking Allie Beth Stuckey for her book Toxic Empathy, written by a lady named Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Oh, that a visceral, vile one.
Just came out this weekend. attacking Allie Beth Stuckey for being not a good Christian like I am, said Hillary Clinton.
Hillary?
Gaslighting on steroids.
Hillary, a good Christian?
That's what she said. Don't get
Oh,
me.
Hillary.
Probably not a good way to end this with. We have to figure out something other than ending with mentioning the name of that person.
Yeah. We have to.
Can you imagine what would have happened if she had won in 2016?
We wouldn't be sitting here right now. Guaranteed. We would not be sitting
I
here.
don't know if you ever saw it, but one of the funniest bits, I've tried to find this. If somebody can find it and send it to me from the Rush Limbaugh archives, Rush did a bit where Hillary was doing a speech during the 2016 campaign, and Rush was channeling, like, this is what Bill Clinton is. He was doing an imitation of Bill Clinton, which he did a great one. And this is what Bill Clinton must be saying while Hillary's doing this speech. It is one of, and he's like, oh man, she can't even beat that lightweight. She's ruining everything I ever did. Oh man, I can't get out of here, Oh man, I can't. I don't even know if I can vote for her. It was.
You just mentioned Rush Limbaugh, John.
What's that? Yeah,
that's my autographed book by Rush.
Oh, really? Great.
I'm like one of my favorite people in broadcast history.
He was a master. Okay, he was, and he was doing it with one hand tied behind his back all the time.
Yeah. That's where I got my format of playing video clips of them saying it and not me from.
Well, me too. That's why I play video clips in my updates, because I'd rather, you won't believe me the stuff they say is so preposterous, you wouldn't believe it unless I played it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but if you can find that video clip of Rush channeling Bill Clinton, what he must be thinking when Hillary is doing a speech during the 26 campaign, it's one of the funniest bits I have ever seen in my life. So,
man, I guarantee you we need to find that video.
Yeah. So it would have been back during the 2016 campaign. So maybe somebody can contact who was the guy that
Armin.
The guy that Russia's right-hand guy.
Yeah, I think it was Armin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe contact David Limbaugh or somebody like that. He's a lawyer. But it was absolute classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one hand behind my back just to make it fair. Talent on load from God.
Oh man, John, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it every time.
Okay, can I answer one question in the chat?
Yeah, please do.
Pastor John, do you think, and by the way, it's just John, but do you think Muslims will give up their beliefs to follow the AI system? I'm going to try to, my moderators who are here getting questions, grab that question for the roundtable Q&A that we're doing on February 11th.
Yeah, you're doing one in another week. Yeah.
But I'll kind of give you a preview on the answer to that question. Will Muslims give up their thing to AI? Patrick Wood has some interesting thoughts on that, is that there's some kind of financial reset coming. Mm-hmm. And the way that the financial reset is coming appears to be asset-based.
Ooh.
And it has a lot of the elements of Sharia financing built into it.
Mm-hmm.
So pay attention to this. So thank you, Stacy.
Wow. John, you and I have the same moderators.
I know. Yeah. They do a great job, by the way. I don't know what I'd do without them. Well, I know what I would do without them is I would, some of the toxic trash would get through.
Yeah.
So
the troll
They
patrol.
do a great job of, clean up on aisle 6 in the chat. you know.
Yeah, and they said it's clean up on aisle 6 like every 30 to 40 seconds.
It sometimes I'll do something and I won't notify them, and the chat will just, there's all kinds of bots and stuff dumping spam and ads for stuff that shouldn't be in there, and it's hard to control. So if that happens, I apologize to people, but
yeah, thank you, great moderators. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the and Benny pays his moderators better than I do. They're volunteers, friends, and they do a fantastic job.
Yes, they do. They do. The Justice League of Moderators.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we better go. Look, it's a crazy world. So got some interviews coming up. I don't know if I have anything scheduled this week yet, but I'm working on some people from Israel that are very astute. And we don't know what's going to happen with Iran. So pray for the president and the people making decisions there, that they'll make the right decision, because there's a whole lot of ways that could go very badly if they don't do the right thing.
Yeah, and it can go really bad fast too if a wrong move is made.
Yeah, and this all has this end times character with it, and we keep saying like, well, what did you think the end times were going to look like, really? And it's probably I mean, listen, the last 2 years, 5 years. But it just seems to be faster and faster and faster and faster. By the way, when I do a thing on Sunday, I might go an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, hour 45 minutes. I'm like leaving 90% of it in my computer. Maybe I need AI to just correlate all the stuff that I don't get to.
Then they'll create an agent to send it to you for your next one.
By the way, that picture in the back behind me, that is an AI generated picture. So
yeah, so is this one behind me.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't even make AI. I keep saying like, make me thinner.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
And
Might be thinner.
the AI, I'm afraid the AI is going to come back and say, "I'm sorry, but." There's not enough computing power available yet to do that.
Or it says, hey, Vinny, I'm sorry. You just need to stop eating more.
Well, I told somebody the other day that I'm a believer in what it says about the end times. And so I should start marketing the SEAL 4 body plan. How to survive the famine. And so
I think we have the antidote.
That's right. We have a family member. She came in by marriage, and she said she was a runner. And I said, how serious of a runner are you? She goes, well, not that much. And I said, now listen, do you have a 13.1 or 26.2 sticker on the back of your car? And she started to blush. Because 13.1 is a half marathon.
Yes, the
26.2 is a marathon. And so I tell these people, I know where you live. You advertise it on your car. And so when the famine hits, I'm going to outlast you, and I'm going to come and get your stuff. So.
Oh, man, that's awesome. And on that note, John, would you please do us the honor and pray us out?
Yeah, folks, let's pray. Lord, we just come to you tonight. Lord, we pray for wisdom of our leaders as they have some tough decisions to make in the coming days, that they will do the right thing. And Lord, as troubling as the world is, I pray that you will fulfill all of your prophecies exactly as they should be and to your glory. And we pray that you will help us to get on board with that program. Bless us this week in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. We're going to talk about the New World Order tomorrow. That's going to be fun. And there's nothing short of that, right, John?
There's plenty to discuss there. You should have a rip-roaring good time.
Yeah. Or as they say in what is it? They have a ripping good time, as they say in England back in the day.
Yeah.
God bless you guys. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Vindog Radio.